I remember standing in front of the mirror after months of dieting, sweating, tired, and convinced this was it. I pulled my shirt up, expecting to finally see some definition. Instead, just a smooth, soft outline staring back at me. And that's when I realized something important. Just because you're losing weight doesn't mean you're actually getting lean enough for your abs to show. The first big realization was that I couldn't just burn my belly fat by training my abs harder. That's not how the body works. Your body decides where the fat comes off, and you have no choice in the matter. And for most men, the lower stomach or the love handles are the last places to go. So if you're waiting for that area to tighten up first, unfortunately you're going to be waiting a while, just like I was. And look, whilst you can't necessarily control where you lose body fat from first, you can control what's underneath the body fat. So in respect to abs, if those abs are thicker, they're more dense, the muscle fibers are bigger, those abs will show through even at a slightly higher body fat percentage than someone with maybe smaller abs. And that's where most guys go wrong. They do hundreds of crunches hoping to burn belly fat instead of training their abs like any other muscle group. The goal isn't to feel the burn, it's to create progressive overload like you would with any other muscle group on your body. So great exercise to increase the thickness of your abs are things like weighted cable crunches, weighted decline sit-ups, ab rollouts, slow, controlled, loaded movements, just like you would do if you were trying to grow any other muscle group in your body, rather than just focus on the burn. When I started training my abs properly, whilst maybe I could see them a little bit more, I still wasn't seeing the amount of definition that I wanted. And that showed me what the next real bottleneck was. I just wasn't lean enough. Visible abs for most men start around 10 to 12% body fat, and that deep, shredded look that you see in photos is usually between 8 to 10% body fat. The frustrating part though of all this is that the ab area, especially the lower abdominal fat, is usually the last place to lean out. You'll often see veins in your arms and your shoulders long before your stomach tightens up, and that's where most guys give up. They assume it's because they have bad genetics or that they're missing some secret trick, but it's just that they stop too soon. The truth is, fat loss is dictated by one thing: your energy balance. So calories in versus calories out, with enough protein and consistency in there to sustain it. For me, that meant tightening up, tracking my meals, managing my weekends better, and just being honest about the food that beforehand I was saying, oh, that doesn't count, there's not many calories in that. Actually tracking those things, because those things do add up. I also found what was really useful was actually just accepting that it's probably going to take longer than I want. There's too many things online that promote like 6-pack in 6 weeks, get shredded in 4 weeks for a holiday, or whatever it may be. And I think we're so skewed to believe that that's possible. And unless you're already sitting at fairly low levels of body fat, which I wasn't at the time, you're going to think that you're not seeing progress fast enough, whereas actually you are maybe seeing progress. You just need to stay consistent and just trust that with time, you're going to see the changes that you want to see. Another big realization was that in order for me to have a physique that I was really proud of and really happy with, I couldn't just rely on training abs, because your frame, your athleticism to your physique all comes down to proportions and your total body composition. So I wanted to make sure I encompass things like squats, deadlifts, presses, rows, overhead press, and that's when my physique took a real rounded look, and I was able to develop the proportions that, you know, aesthetically I wanted to see. But not only that, the more muscle you have in your body, the more your body is capable of actually using calories that you're consuming. If you think about it like this, if you just train your abs, you might build a bit of muscle in your abs, but actually you're not building that much muscle because it's only a small portion of your body. Whereas actually if you try and build muscle everywhere, your body's essentially metabolic rate will increase dramatically, and as a result of that, your body's ability to utilize energy, i.e. calories, will increase as well. So it'll be easier for you to essentially lose the body fat and keep it off eventually as well. So here's a quick summary of what actually got me there. The first thing was just making sure that I lost enough body fat in the first place. The second thing was just building my abs like I would any other muscle group and not just focusing on the burn. The third thing was to actually track everything that went into my body, so tracking my food properly, and this is especially important as you get leaner. You know, there's no room for error whenever you're trying to get down to that 10%, sub 10% body fat mark. And the fourth thing was actually just making sure that I trained other parts of my body as well, as opposed to just my abs. I didn't want to have a skinny physique that was lean, because for me, that wasn't what I wanted. I wanted to have a more proportional physique, and if you're watching this, maybe you do too, in which case you can't neglect the other main muscle groups in your body as well. So make sure you do keep your compound movements in there too. So that's it. There's no secret, there's no shortcut. But what I will say is that if you can give yourself even 90 days of real consistency, tracking your food, training hard, getting your steps in on a daily basis, and just staying patient, you'll be shocked at how different you can look and feel by the end. Not because you found some magic formula, but just because you've finally stopped, starting and restarting again. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be consistent long enough for the work you're already doing to actually show show. So stay consistent and you will see results in the end. I hope you guys found this video useful, and if you want more videos just like this showing you how to transform your physique and how to optimize your health, please feel free to subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.